injury, announced his retirement after 7 NFL seasons. It was also following the best statistical season of his career. But it is a next man up business. Ed Werder is our next man up. He joins us. He's with the Colts. And that means a promotion, Ed, for Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, and right now, Wendy, the Colts are on the practice field. And a little while ago, head coach Frank Reich said he senses the players have begun to adjust from an emotional standpoint following the unexpected turn of events that occurred with Andrew Luck's retirement. And with that taking place, Reich was comfortable offering unique perspective into the demands of his offensive system and what it places on the quarterback, as well as points of emphasis he's made in coaching Jacoby Brissett as the new starter.
Have a plan on every play. Have a plan on every play. Keep it simple. Keep it simple and don't try to be a hero. Don't try to be a hero. Just play good football. You got good guys around you. I mean, that's really the message to any quarterback. Those are kind of core principles for any quarterback. So those are a few of the things.
Oh, he's responded well. He got out of his system. It's his time. Step up and get up there to the plate and play football. He's our leader now, and we go as he go.
Well, Brissett must be quicker making decisions and get the ball out. He suffered the most sacks in the NFL when he replaced Luck in 2017. Last year, with Reich's offensive system in place, a commitment to improving the offensive line, and Luck playing quarterback, the Colts allowed the fewest sacks in the league, becoming only the second team in league history to allow the most one year and the fewest the next. And Wendy, already down a quarterback, the last thing the Colts can afford is an injury to Jacoby Brissett.
Ed, thank you. They made a concerted effort, you're right, to protect their quarterback. Now that quarterback goes by a different name, but they certainly don't want to lose another one. And, Rob, you played with Jacoby Brissett. We've seen some flashes. Give us a scouting report.
Well, he's a big guy, and he's got a strong arm. I would think that at this point he has matured. 2017 when he was the guy and he played a lot of football, I'm sure he learned a lot. And you can practice all you want. You can go out there and run the scout team cards, and you can make great throws. But when you're under pressure and you're getting hit by a lot of guys and corners and DBs are closing on the ball a lot faster than they would in practice, you learn quickly. So now that he's the guy, I would anticipate him learning from his mistakes and hopefully moving forward and having a better season statistically than he did in 2017. Plus, new coaching, new staff, and offensive line. Hopefully he's better than they were when he had the most sacks in 2017.
Well, when you look at 2017, you got to look at today, what they did for Andrew Luck, bringing in new players defensively, going out and getting Devin punches. But the one thing to me, I played with Frank Reich as a rookie. He's in good hands in terms of learning from somebody that understands the position, had played quarterback himself. He could teach Jacoby Brissett a million different things. You look at the situation, that situation was set up for Andrew Luck. Now you got a guy who's walking in, who will be a free agent at the end of the year. All chips are riding on it. And a lot of people are saying, well, he's not that good. Well, the New England Patriots took him in the 3rd round for a reason out of North Carolina State because they saw something. Indianapolis traded for him for a reason because they saw something. So there's something in him that makes people feel good about him. Most people would argue, a lot of people better yet would argue that the Colts were set up in terms of having depth at the quarterback position as the best in the NFL until Luck retired.
Well, I would agree, and I would also say this. Frank Reich knows he's been put in a little bit of a tenuous situation, Jacoby. I mean, he is going to do everything in his power to support him, to use the pieces that are in place around him to the best of his ability. And to your point, Frank Reich knows that position to try and make this work in the short term.
He knows that position. He knows the backup life. He was one that ended up having to come in and perform at a high level. He was on the Eagles coaching staff 2 years ago when Nick Foles did this after Carson Wentz got hurt. So he's been through vaguely similar situations where the backup has had to step in. But you talk about supporting him and teaching him. Frank Reich and his staff were doing that with Jacoby Brissett last year, even as Jacoby was not playing in games. People don't get to see the work that goes on in practice in terms of developing a quarterback, developing any player, but developing a quarterback in this case. Jacoby Brissett knows this offense and this system. He's now been practicing in it for 2 off seasons and 1 whole season. Not only is the roster in better shape than it was 2 years ago, but he is almost certainly a more fully formed NFL quarterback than he was 2 years ago. Andrew Luck was a generational talent, one of the great quarterback prospects in recent memory. It's unfair to expect Jacoby Brissett to perform like Andrew Luck. but it's not unfair to believe that he can perform like a capable starter with a good team around him and that this team can contend.
Since 2012, the Colts 10-16 without Andrew Luck, but every team is different. They've put a lot of pieces in place. Again, we'll see. Meanwhile, we talked about Antonio Brown. He's looking for a new helmet, out in Oakland. His former team is moving on, and unlike last year, and I mean, it's really been a difference. It's been a relatively quiet, somewhat drama-free camp for the Steelers. They will open the regular season against the New England Patriots September 8th. Here is Jeremy Fowler from Pittsburgh.
Fresh out of the Steelers locker room, Andrew Luck's surprise retirement was a prime topic of conversation. I caught quarterback Ben Roethlisberger leaving the room. He told me he was shocked by the news, yet proud for Luck's bravery. Leaving at the height of your career is not easy, Big Ben said. I tip my cap to him. Coach Mike Tomlin added he only heard good things about Luck as a player in person and respects his decision. In other Steelers news, Mason Rudolph has the inside track on the backup quarterback job right now. And though nothing is official, Rudolph told me it feels good that all his hard work is paying off. And it's been eerily quiet around the Steelers the last month or so, drama-free. Cornerback Joe Hayden told me that's exactly what the team wants. We had a lot going on last year, Hayden said, alluding to the Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown storylines. Now it's all about performing.
How about that, Jeremy Fowler? Drama-free. 9 days to go. We'll get hyped up with number 9 and some of his all-time best plays.
Here we go. Who? What? Who? What?